Well, Dwyane Wade and Zaya done shook the table. Okay, y'all. So you know I need to talk about it. I have to. There's just no way that I wasn't going to talk about this. So Dwyane Wade went out and had a couple of conversations. I heard the first one was on a podcast, and then a couple of days later he went on the Ellen show to talk about his daughter. I don't think that's the sole reason why he was on the shows, but he was talking about his daughter, Zaya. She is identifying as a girl. Now, she was born a male, and she has come to her parents and her step parents and said that she feels like she is, in the wrong body, and she feels like she is a girl. Okay. So she now has changed the pronouns from he, him to she, her. Okay. If you guys aren't familiar with pronouns, and I know y'all know pronouns, I went to school, but if you're not familiar in the LGBTQ community, a lot of times people identify using pronouns. They let you know what their pronouns are, and with the pronouns, you can be she, him, her, they, we, us, all of that you can be. Okay. And so I believe that Zaya now identifies as she, her, and I am a she, her. But I know people who are they. I know people who sometimes wake up, and when I speak to them, they say they feel like they are she, him. And I've never met anybody who was he and her, but I do know some she, him. So, the pronoun thing is, the spectrum is, large. Now, like I said, Dwyane Wade Dwyane Wade went on to the Ellen show, and while he was there, he was talking about how his child has changed the pronouns, and so they now address that child as Zaya, and they will now, I believe, they will live as a female. This, of course, sent the black internet into a frenzy, okay? And it was just out of control. And this is why we need to have this conversation, because rapper Boosie was one of the first people that everybody really started talking about it. He does, I don't know any of his music that I know that I could just like pull out of the out my back pocket and be like, this is my jam. I don't know. I'm sure that I probably know a Boosie song if somebody sang it or it came on right now. I don't know. But he does a lot of these internet videos where he just starts talking and he just sound like I don't know, he just don't sound okay. And not Orlando Brown, not okay, but he just, some of the stuff he say is problematic, controversial, all of that. So he went on and was just like, Dwyane Wade, don't cut your son penis off because it might turn 16 and meet a young lady and all of this stuff, okay? That was never what Dwyane Wade said. Dwyane Wade never said, my child is getting any kind of surgeries done. All that he said was that we will now be addressing my child as a she, her, female person. That's it. Everybody then went into this whole thing about, oh, what kind of doctor is that would do a sex change operation on a baby? And, oh, what kind of parent would let their kids have that kind of surgery? Surgery has never been a part of any topic that we have heard Dwyane Wade do on any platforms thus far. Doctors ain't giving no 12-year-olds surgeries that would change their bodies in any way. Like, I don't think you can get a breast reduction at 12. I don't think you can get, implants at 12. You can't get your penis removed. You can't get a penis added. Like, those things are not happening at 12. This child simply is changing how they are being identified in speaking, in conversation, and they may also change the way that they dress. I know for a lot of people that seems like a harsh thing, but I remember when one of my children was in their adolescent age and was really trying to figure themselves out, and it wasn't easy for them, and they wanted to dress in the opposite sex. Everything they wanted to do in the opposite sex. Now, for my child, that did not last very long, but I did let my child explore how they felt like they needed to. And did I get a little bit of backlash from it? Yes. But, now I will say this too. Let me just let you all know that the child that did this was a female born child who wanted to explore what they thought could be the masculine part of themselves. Okay, and so I know it's easier, so I don't want to misrepresent what my journey was at my house, but I still got a lot of flack from it. And that child does identify on the spectrum now still, the LGBTQ spectrum. I ain't gonna give out the letter that they do, but they are on that spectrum, okay? And so I did get a lot of flack because they were, early teens, and people were like, I don't know what you doing here. And I was like, you ain't gotta understand it. This is what go on in my house. But because Dwyane Wade is such a public figure, of course we all know it, so people want to give their opinions. I think that, for me, there's a thing, and you guys are going to, hear this a lot from me. There's a thing where I feel like we jump like antelope acting like lions are chasing us when really there ain't no lions chasing us, okay? Like, we act like everything is this drastic event that is coming on that is going to affect our lives in such a drastic way when it has not. This is the same thing that happened when they were like, we're going to let transgenders use the women's bathroom, and they were like, oh Lord, it's going to be rapes everywhere. Women just going to get raped all day, every day in the bathroom. They men, and they just want to go in there, put on women dresses, and go in the bathroom and rape everybody. Where are those stories? We jumped hard about it. It was the same thing where it was like, when the gays get married, oh Lord, the sanctity of marriage is going to be ruined. My marriage is going to be nothing now because gay people are getting married. And I ain't seen nobody whose marriage done broke up because gay people got married. We jump hard about these things, and it's really just because change ain't comfortable. And because change isn't comfortable, we make it be that the people who want us to change are always wrong. I just feel like we need to pull it together. Now, here's another celebrity who had a problem with this. It was Ricky Smiley. Ricky Smiley posted a meme that basically said, y'all know it's gonna be right there in a minute. Something to the effect of, society doesn't like when black boys want to wear locks, but they celebrate when black boys want to wear dresses. And I just want to say, I'm so very sorry, but I don't know where society is celebrating black boys wearing dresses, because it's not a thing. I mean, hell, Billy Porter keep on putting on, dresses at these award shows, and what we would still call more feminine outfits at these award shows. He wear a dress all the time to an award show, and y'all go mad. Like, why we gotta keep looking at it? We get it. There ain't nobody celebrating that. Every week there is a story about a black trans woman who has been murdered, which means that people are not accepting of this. And we got to go ahead on it. Let me just take it all the way back, because we all know that there was a whole slew of episodes of Jerry Springer where there was some trans person on there letting some man know, guess what? I liked you and we've been dating, but I was born a man. And those people was getting beat up on stage. So there is no society is saying let the black boys wear dresses, but they can't wear the locks. Now the society is definitely saying they can't wear locks. Society is also saying that they can't wear the dresses. There is no acceptance of this. There is a community of people who are saying we should be accepting of this. But there is also a large community saying we need to let these kids wear their locks to school. I have locks. And again, I spoke about this many times. I know it ain't accepted everywhere, but we just spoke about the fact that there are states who are passing laws saying that leave these kids alone with these locks in their hair. They can go to school. They can graduate and walk the graduation. We can go to work now. Like there is a change here that is saying that the locks have to be accepted. So this whole rant about, society is only saying that black boys can wear dresses, but they ain't saying it's locks, is a lie. And we need to stop lying to the people, because why wasn't Ricky Smiley posting about the fact that there are states that are passing laws? I mean, I'm saying that we got to make laws to talk about the fact that our hair can be our hair. But the fact is that it's a lie that society is not saying we want these kids to be able to wear their locks. That's not true. And it also is not true that these kids are being just welcomed to wear dresses. I mean, hell, what's the guy's Magic Johnson's son been wearing girls' clothes for forever, and ain't nobody liked it. And when the Smiths, Will and Jada, when their son Jaden came out and he was wearing a dress and a skirt or something at one of them fashion shows or something, everybody was up in arms. Society has not accepted these kids wearing their, to wear another gender's clothing. They have never done that. They do not like that. And it is not, although we are trying to let people wear the clothes we want to, that has always been a problem. And we need to stop acting like we ain't I'm 40. I'm in my 40s, okay? I remember when we was kids, the little boy that wanted to jump double Dutch with us, nobody was okay with that. It was us girls, we was fine with it. Like, come on, whoever you want to be, whoever you are, name, insert here, come on and jump. You know how to turn, because if you know how to turn, you could jump. That was all the qualifications it took. But there was a whole bunch of kids that was teasing him and calling him names in school back then. Okay, I have gay friends today who are in their 40s and their 30s who will tell you that back then still they were being teased. Gay didn't all of a sudden pop up. That was happening 25, 30 years ago when I was in elementary school, okay? 25, child. Let's not lie. I graduated 25 years. I graduated from my high school 25 years ago. So I've been like 35 years ago. 35 years ago, the kids was getting teased, but we was all calling them gay. So we can't do that. And that is a harder struggle for boys, because if you are a girl and you like women, if you are a feminine girl, you just walking around the school. If you a boy who likes boys, that was a hard struggle. And them kids got picked on hard and heavy. And that is not, gay kids didn't all of a sudden pop up. Y'all all know y'all was teasing somebody back in the day. And if you weren't teasing somebody, you was sitting in that lunchroom watching somebody be teased because people were saying that they was gay back then. This did not pop up all of a sudden, and society is just like all of a sudden like, oh, let all the kids be gay. That is not a thing. And let me bring myself to my next point about Ricky Smiley. Ricky Smiley, one of your characters has been a man dressed as a woman, being that church lady person. You've been walking around in a dress for forever, and now you mad because Dwyane Wade's daughter want to wear one? You wanted to wear one to make some money. She wanted to wear one to live her life. Which one is more of a problem? I don't understand. And I know he said his issue really was that the child was too young to wear the clothes they were wearing. Now, I will say, I do agree that there's some inappropriate clothing, I feel, for age appropriateness. Okay? Now, however you let your child dress, I guess that's how you would let your child dress. I would not have allowed my 12-year-old to wear belly shirts, but that's what they do at the Wade's house, okay? If that's the complaint you have, okay. That's kind of like, my child at 10 was still wearing barrettes and mollies. Other people's children at 10 got, bundles. I don't know. That's not what I was doing. That's what I do at your house. It don't make my day. And ain't nobody buying me no chai tea latte off of my opinion. So, whatever. But I still feel like, Ricky, you try to change your argument, because first he was just like, I just posted it. It ain't whether I agree or not. But if you didn't agree, why would you put it up on your page to just have controversy? Like, you just looking for controversy and then get upset because people think that that's what you think. It's on your page. It's a representation of what you do, correct? Because I just feel like, pull it together, bruh. Like, what's your opinion? Because he's like, it's not really my opinion. And I had the child. And then Ricky Smiley said he had a child who I think is on the spectrum. Now, before I go any further, let me just tell y'all, straight is on the spectrum too. And I don't know why we haven't added it on the spectrum. It's sexuality, straight, gay, bi, lesbian, queer, trans. I'm sorry, I don't know all the letters, but if we just start to add straight to the rest of the letters, then we will then have to have people admit that sexuality is a spectrum, and straight is one end of the spectrum, is on one end of the spectrum, and there are a whole other slew of places. I'm very, very confused as to why we as a society think that everything else in life can be a spectrum, but when sexuality come up, it's only one or the other. And really, it's supposed to only be one. I don't know why. There are, people will be like, well, because, that's why procreation and all of this. But what happens to the women who cannot give birth? Are they then not women? What happens to the men who cannot produce sperm that will allow them to make a child? Are they then not men? Like, where does it go? And that's, we need to just we have to let go of this thought that sexuality is this one thing, and that there's only one way to love, and there's only one way of attraction, because attraction is a spectrum in itself. So why can't, if I can be attracted to light skin, dark skin, brown skin, tall, short, whatever, why can't I also be attracted to, boobs instead of penises? I guess, I don't know. I'm not trying to trivialize it, but I'm just saying, there's definitely a spectrum. Y'all all need to chill out. Whoever's up in arms about this, y'all need to take some breaths, go on a retreat or something, let it go, because the problems aren't as big as we want to make them. I also heard that Ricky Smiley said that he had a child, or maybe it was one of the kids that he took in, who identifies on the spectrum, and so I was not really sure as to whether he was saying he was accepting of that person or not, but I do want to say I'm hoping that he was, and I'm hoping that he understands that there is such a place where there's a struggle for people who have to come out. That ain't an easy thing to do. It's very hard. Some of us wait a long time. I know people who are in their mid-30s who still have not been able to come out to their family fully because of the fear that they may be ostracized, that they may be, shunned and all of that. And that is still a fear. I mean, hell, y'all watch Pose. If you watch Pose, you know that way back in the daggone 80s, 70s, people were getting put out their house. So again, this didn't just jump out into the streets. It's not a new thing. This has always happened. I believe the first transgender surgery was like in the 60s. Y'all need to stop acting like this stuff just showed up. It did not. Let me move on to my next thing, okay? There is this whole thing that's like, well, the kids is only acting like that because we keep on showing them too much sexual stuff in the media, and so all the kids is starting to be gay because all the kids start to be gay because they keep seeing gay on TV. How in the hell, if we just started showing kids gay on TV, what was the cause of the people who were gay in who came out in the 90s, the people who came out in the early 2000s, the people who came out in the 80s, the people who came out in the 70s? What was their representation that you thought they didn't have all of this gay, representation in the way that you feel that they have it now, that made these people feel like they were gay? Like, what is your explanation for that? Because if we are saying that there is a gay agenda, and please, everybody on the podcast, know that I'm giving you the finger quotes. If we feel that there's a gay agenda, then what happened to the straight agenda that didn't make everybody straight? Like, what happened? Because y'all was showing mad straight stuff back in the day, and everybody didn't turn straight. So why is it that everybody's just going to turn gay because they see gay? Like, is straight not strong enough that you could overpower gay? Like, I don't understand. Is it a dominant gene? Like, what are we talking about here? Because it don't make any sense. That makes no sense. And to be like, yeah, but we're over sexualizing the cartoons now because, like, they'll have, like, I watched State of the Culture. Anybody who want to tag them, go ahead. And Remy Ma was talking about how she feels like cartoons are over sexualized because she watched a cartoon the other day with her children, and somebody was saying, I have two dads, and that's too much for the kids. But the truth is that there are a lot of kids who have two dads. The truth is that there are a lot of kids who have two moms. The truth is that there are kids who have no dad. There's a lot of kids who have no mom. Some kids are with their grandma. I don't know why you believe that it's confusing for your child. But if your child grows up learning in one way, it ain't confusing for them. It's new math for you. Okay? And so you're trying to put this on your kids, but you are confused because you thought the world only worked one way, and it doesn't. Your kids are not confused unless you sit at your house and tell your kids that what is happening is wrong. And then when they go out and they see, well, Shaquita got two moms and you said that that's wrong, but she seemed happy, so now I'm confused because you have confused me. That's why our children are confused. They're not confused because they just seeing Shaquita's mom, Kelly pick her up one day and then her mom, Tiffany, pick her up the next day. That's not confusing to her or to him until you start telling them that that is a wrong thing. It's the same way. I know y'all gonna trip when I say it, but it's the same way when the parents were saying, my kid's gonna be confused when the black parents come to the school. My kid's gonna be confused when the black kids is in the class. No, they not. They are not confused unless you teach them that black people are not okay. That's what happens. Kids roll with the punches. The same way, whatever you eat at your house is what you eat at your house. If you tell kids this is the only way macaroni and cheese is supposed to be made, when they go to somebody else's house and they start making the macaroni and cheese another way, the kids is like, I'm confused. I don't understand. Why are you making it this way? Because my mama said it's only supposed to be that way. Like, it's literally the kids are not confused. And let me tell you, we have not over-sexualized it all of a sudden. All the cartoons when I was a kid, the kids was trying to get a Valentine's. They was walking around. I mean, hell, I watched Doug all the time, and Doug was loving on some patty mayonnaise back then. That was okay, but Doug can't love on Arthur, I don't understand. It's the same thing. You parents are confused and making it a big deal. Nobody's having sex on the TV. They just like somebody. And the fact that your child can see that two boys can like each other is not a confusing factor for them. We watched Arthur, and Helga always loved, I think the name was Helga. The girl on Arthur always loved that little football headed Arthur and was always trying to be with her. I remember an episode of The Simpsons where Lisa had this little boy who liked her, and then it was Valentine's Day, and she gave him a Valentine's card. You know how the class give everybody one, but the Valentine that he got from Lisa said, "I choose you," and because it was a little train, it was cute. You look it up, y'all. Check the internet. Y'all know how I do. Okay, but I always do that because every year I tell my mom, I choose you, because that's how I let her know I love her. Anytime I want to tell her I love her, I tell her I love her that way. But because we always thought that was so cute on The Simpsons, if I want to say it another way, I say I choose you. Also, on the Jetsons, back in the day now, there was a contest to talk about loving somebody, and then they sang that Eep Op Ork Ah Ah song. And if y'all don't remember that one, go ahead on, and I'm gonna try to put that up. I'm on the YouTube. I'm gonna try to put that up. I don't know if I can put that up on the podcast, but if you want to hear it and it doesn't make it, go ahead on and put it on check the YouTube channel, y'all. So Eep Op Ork Ah Ah. Anytime I want to tell my brother I love him, I say that. But that came from a love letter that was on the Jetsons. Like, there has always been straight love on cartoons. There has always been straight love on the Disney show. There's always been straight love on Nickelodeon shows. The Rugrats was liking each other. We cannot do this, people. We cannot act like there wasn't straight, attraction going on. I watched the episode of The Family Hustle with T.I. and Tiny, and they had an episode where their youngest child, Major, who I believe was in like the first grade. Well, I'm gonna give him the second grade. I don't even think he was that old. But they were having a dance at the school, which I don't want, we don't want the kids to be sexualized. Why we putting the kids in dances at 2, at 4 and 7 years old, we telling the kids to go ahead on and get dressed and get dates because Major had to ask one of the girls in the class to be his date to the class. That's not over sexualizing our kids. Sending our babies on dates ain't over sexualizing our kids. But to tell the kids that there's 2 moms or 2 dads is too much. The kids don't understand that. We tell kids, we try to couple up our babies early, telling them, "Oh, you cute. Oh, y'all, that's your little girlfriend. Oh, that's my little boyfriend." We have all done that. Don't act like you didn't. That is sexualizing your children, and that is a heterosexual sexualization. You just don't like that the gay people are being seen. That's what that is. If you have a problem with gay people having representation, the problem is that you don't like to have gay people being seen, because this means change, and we are not okay with change. The fact that we are not okay with change does not mean that Dwyane Wade is wrong. It does not mean that cartoons are wrong. It does not mean that society is wrong. It means that you got to step up, boo. That's all that means. It means that you have to learn more. And I know you don't want to have to learn more. You don't want to have to do more. But that's how the world works. It's going to evolve. We are going to have to accept more people. Sometimes we have to accept people that we would not hang around. Okay, there's plenty of white people who wouldn't hang around. Do that mean that we as white people should not be discriminated against? Does that mean that we as black people should not have rights? No. It means if you don't like me, stay away from me, but still understand that I need my civil liberties. That's all that means. And that is the same thing that any other group is saying. I need to be able to be here represented as the person that I am. I should not have to black down, gay down, Hispanic down, woman down, any other transgender down, any other anything that is not white heterosexual Christian life. I should not have to pull that in to make you comfortable when I walk outside. I'm going to come outside and I'm going to be fat because I am. I'm going to be black because I am. I'm going to walk these locks because I got them. I'm going to be a woman because I am. And sometimes I'm going to be spectrumed because I am. And whoever don't like any of that, I mean, I don't invite you to my house anyway. So, it's okay. You ain't asked me to come up for not one barbecue. So why do I have to not be me? I'm going to put these lashes on every time I feel like it. I'm going to, just be her in any way that I want to, anytime I feel like it. Y'all didn't invite me to your cookouts. So why I got to change who I am for anybody? And I feel like nobody else should have to do that. There have been so many conversations about how, when people who are, older than myself saw black women on TV, or when they even saw black people on TV, and they realized, not just black people, but like darker skinned black people, when they saw that and they realized like, hey, these people are like me. I can be, something that is celebrated. Everybody wants to see that part of them. Everybody wants to have that representation in them. And that's okay. You guys don't got to jump big on like the antelope. There ain't no lions chasing you. There really ain't. Y'all are okay. You're fine. The same, like I said before, the same way that everybody went crazy about the transgenders in the bathroom. I personally have never seen one in the bathroom that I thought I could identify. Now, I'm sure there have been some women in the bathroom and, get your life. But I ain't never felt like, is this a man trying to rape me in here? Now, will I say that there have never been anybody who has been raped in the bathroom? No, I will not. Please do not come into my inbox that y'all really don't be trying to check anyway and tell me about a scenario where of some woman who was tragically raped in a bathroom, because that is her story to tell, not yours, and we don't need to use hers to attack me. Okay, that's not how her story needs to be told. I respect that story already. But I am saying we need to stop jumping crazy every time people say that they are going to live their lives in ways that really will not affect yours. It will not change how you raise your children. Well, it should a little bit, because you should raise your children to be open-minded people who are accepting of people, so that they are allowed the grace and mercy when they are doing the things that other people don't feel like are okay for them. But that's just me, and I'm just saying.